So today we're going to dive into this idea from the art of set and forget. It's really a philosophy for designing a life that's, calmer and a lot more automated. The core idea is actually super simple. Build systems that truly support you, so you're not stuck constantly managing everything.
I mean, does this sound familiar? That feeling of being constantly overwhelmed? It feels like we're all caught up in this cult of busyness, right? Just endless to-do lists, notifications pinging all the time. But here's the thing. The truth is, most of what we're chasing, it can actually take care of itself. That is, if we design our lives with a little intention right from the very beginning.
Okay, so the book reframes this whole problem in a really powerful way. It basically argues that most of our overwhelm comes from treating what it calls noise, all those pointless interruptions and tiny decisions, as if it were a signal. Now, signals, those are the few absolutely crucial things that actually move you forward. So the real key is just learning how to tell the difference between the two.
And that right there brings us to the core solution, this whole set and forget philosophy. And look, this isn't about being lazy or neglectful. No way. It's the complete opposite. It's all about intentional design. It's about creating systems with so much foresight and care that you can genuinely trust them to just run on their own.
All right, so where do we even begin? Well, the very first step is a big mindset shift. We've got to stop acting like project managers of our own endless task lists and start thinking of ourselves as architects of our own lives.
And this is such a crucial shift, really. See, most of us just see life as this chaotic list of unrelated chores, right? But a life architect, they see the invisible threads that connect everything. A clean room isn't just a chore, it's a ticket to mental clarity. A prepped meal isn't just food, it's fuel for your future self. It's all part of one big interconnected system.
And to build that system, the book uses this really cool biological analogy. Think of it like this. You start with a cell, which is just a tiny microhabit, like drinking a glass of water first thing. Then a bunch of those cells form a tissue, which is a full-blown habit. Those tissues combine to make an organ. That's your routine. And finally, all those organs work together to create a complete system, like your entire approach to health or your finances.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? A well-designed life, it just eliminates all that friction. Your effort turns into flow, and the right things start happening automatically. And that frees you up from the sheer exhaustion of having to make a million tiny decisions every single day.
Okay, so how do we actually get to that state of flow? Well, this next concept is fascinating. It actually uses an analogy from physics to explain how we can cut down on the friction in our own lives.
In physics, resistance is what wastes energy as heat. And in our lives, resistance is that friction that turns your efforts straight into exhaustion. It's that feeling that makes even simple tasks feel incredibly heavy and just totally drains your motivation.
So get this. The book uses the actual physics formula for electrical resistance as a metaphor for our lives. Now, I know it looks a little complex, but stick with me, because when you break it down, it gives us this incredible framework for understanding exactly where all our energy is going.
Okay, let's break this down. R is just resistance. Simple enough. Rho, that Greek letter, that represents your innate temperament. It's kind of like the core material you're made of. Then L is the length of the path to action. How hard is it to do the thing? And S, that's the space you create for rest and recovery.
So the big question is, how do we apply this, right? And here's the most crucial part. To reduce resistance, you don't just push harder. That's not the answer. Instead, you design smarter. You accept your natural temperament instead of constantly fighting it. You shorten that path to action by making good habits super easy to start. And this is so critical, you widen the space for rest, which literally gives your energy more room to flow.
And this whole philosophy of flow, it's not just some abstract idea. It applies to really practical areas too, like our finances. The goal here isn't just about building wealth for the sake of it, but about designing a financial system that actually creates peace of mind.
And this leads to what the book calls a serenity portfolio. I love that name. It's basically a financial system that is designed to work for you while you're sleeping. You use automation and intention to create this steady current of resources, and that frees up your attention for the stuff that truly matters in life. So this kind of portfolio is by its very nature diversified and super low maintenance. It's all about balancing stable assets like real estate with that steady, quiet growth you get from automated investments like ETFs and pensions. The key is, all the work is done upfront in the design phase, not in constant, stressful, day-to-day management.
And this next idea, this might be the most profound one in the whole book. We all get the idea of compounding money, right? But what about compounding time? Think about it. Every single hour you manage to reclaim from stress and instead invest in rest or clarity or just connection, that hour doesn't just vanish. It compounds. It builds up in your nervous system, and that leads to better days, smarter decisions, and a genuinely calmer life. And that calm isn't just for us. It ripples outward. This beautiful image of Aunt Lourdes spinning wool, it's such a perfect reminder that rhythm and peace aren't just things you have, they're things you teach through your presence. It's in these quiet, shared moments of connection that a family's legacy of ease is really built, almost without a single word being spoken.
So all of this really brings us to our final takeaway. This whole idea, it isn't just about making your own life easier. It's about that ripple effect. It's about the impact that a well-designed, calm life can have on literally everyone around you.
And a really key takeaway here is to just let go of perfection, seriously. The goal isn't to create some flawless, hyper-optimized life. I mean, how exhausting is that? No, the goal is progress. It's about finding a gentle, renewing rhythm that allows for messiness and imperfections, but just keeps moving forward with a bit of grace.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to really think about. The systems you're building, the rhythms you're creating, the way you manage your energy, all of that contributes to a kind of legacy. So the question is, what kind of calm, what kind of ease are you building for yourself and for others?
And we'll end on the book's central mantra, which I think sums it all up perfectly. It's just a powerful reminder that with a little foresight, with some intentional design, we can build a life that actually carries us, allowing us to finally stop pushing so hard and just let life flow.